Hi folks, Greg from JoBlo Horror here, and welcome to my horror party. Halloween may be over for the general population, but over here we're just getting started. I'm back in the studio and ready to dive into another viewer request, the original Night of the Demons. Not to be confused with the 1957 British horror classic Night of the Demon, which was retitled Curse of the Demon in the US, or 1980's Night of the Demon, which features this dude wearing an old bath mat pretending to be Bigfoot. No, this is the super cool, gory, and kinda kinky cult classic from 1988. I like to think of it as goth Evil Dead. You know, a group of late 20-somethings pretending to be teenagers visit a creepy house, learn about the horrible things that happen there, then decide, hey, what the hell, let's do an occult ritual.
Hey you guys, how about a past life seance?
Some of them get possessed by demons, they attack the others, more kids get possessed, most of them die, you get the idea. That's not saying the formula doesn't work. With the right amount of creative insanity behind the camera, there's still plenty of ways to make it fun. And that's why Night of the Demons is a perfect pick for a horror party. In case you're checking this series out for the first time, I'll break it down for you. Horror party is really a loose definition because it's all about having a good time and checking your cares at the door. You just need a few like-minded horror fans to share the fun. If you're so inclined, you can mix it up with some mood-enhancing substances, and I'll be happy to help you with that part too. For each episode, I put together a little party game to get you started, and you can modify the rules as much as you like. In our previous episode, I covered Ghoulies, which is the first film in our series to center on an actual party. But Night of the Demons is the first to revolve around a Halloween party, and if you're still experiencing Halloween withdrawal, maybe this will lift your spirits again. Oh, and by the way, if you've never seen Night of the Demons before, you might want to stop right here and give it a pre-watch, because I'm going to spoil the absolute hell out of it, so consider yourself warned. As always, I'll bring you up to speed with some background on this crazy flick, and because I don't want to waste your valuable time, I'll keep this little catch-up course at just 2 minutes. In fact, I'm even going to set a timer, so if you already have this information, feel free to jump ahead 120 seconds, exactly, from now. Night of the Demons began with a script called Halloween Party by screenwriter Joe Augustin, who also produced the film. The script combined the usual slasher tropes with an Evil Dead-style demonic possession story. But instead of a cabin in the woods, it was set in an abandoned funeral home with a bloody history. The studio had already put money into a promotional campaign under the original title before they were informed it was too close to the Halloween franchise, so they changed it just before the film was released. Kevin S. Tenney, who had made Witchboard for the same production company, was hired to direct. His team shot most of the interior scenes in an abandoned Tudor house in downtown Los Angeles, using a matte painting for some of the exteriors. The house has since been torn down, and the site is now a Ralph's. The fictional mortuary is named Hull House, which is likely a play on Richard Matheson's classic novel Hell House, which was itself turned into an excellent film in 1973. For the elaborate makeup effects, the producers hired Steve Johnson, whose name is already well known in the industry, for a little film called Ghostbusters. Night of the Demons was Johnson's first feature as director of makeup effects, and he was determined to make a memorable impression. He apparently made quite an impression on Scream Queen Linnea Quigley, as they were married after the production wrapped. Johnson's multi-layered demon makeups look amazing on screen, but they were pure hell for the actors, some of whom had to endure up to 12 hours in the makeup chair. For the zombie-filled finale, Steve called in even more effects experts, including Randall William Cook, who would go on to win multiple Oscars for the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Night of the Demons made a decent profit at the box office, partly thanks to an impressive ad campaign financed by the producers themselves. And it's now considered a cult classic with an ever-growing fan base. Its success led to 2 sequels, both with actress Mimi Kincaid returning as the demonic Angela, and a remake in 2009 which Kevin Tenney also produced. Now that you're fully enlightened, it's time to go shopping for some party favors, and I don't mean the little pointy hats, unless you're into that sort of thing. I'm not judging. As always, I'm not saying you need any particular intoxicants to enjoy this game. That decision's entirely on you, and I hope you're mindful of any safety and legal boundaries. But if you like to juice up your movie viewing experience, I can certainly make some suggestions.
What kind of drugs are we going to need for this?
Well, I'm talking your favorite cocktail, wine, beer, straight liquor, cannabis, and so on. Even if you don't partake of these, you can try spicy snacks, which is actually a great choice if your digestive system is up to the challenge. Be creative and make it fun and safe for you and your fellow players.
Would you like a fudge log?
No thanks, Mrs. Cassidy, really.
They look like sun-dried poodle turds.
The main thing here is to find a substance you can consume in a measured dose, so you always get the same amount when it's time to consume. With that in mind, read this. Now here's the really fun part, the rules of the game. This is where it's important to know just how much your dose contains, because this could get challenging real quick. Every time a character shows you their, let's say, posterior region, take 1 dose. Linnea Quigley's fans are going to love this rule, by the way. Every time you see a character look into a mirror, take a dose. When a character becomes possessed, or in some cases repossessed, take a dose. When Angela and Suzanne lock lips and swap gravy, take 1 dose. When Angela does her infamous dance to the Bauhaus track Stigmata Martyr, take 2 doses. Every time a character says the word party,
where's the friggin' party?
Let's party.
party!
The party's just begun.
Take 1 dose. When Angela goes roller skating, take 1 dose, and you'll know what I'm talking about when it happens. Every time you see nudity, and there's a lot of it, take 1 dose. I'm sorry there's not much male skin on display, but this movie's not too socially enlightened, if you know what I mean.
Wow, but it's just boobies, sis. You keep on going, you'll have to hire someone just to tie your shoes.
Whenever you see the final boss, or whatever the hell this is, take 2 doses. Finally, look for this cigarette lighter. When it shows up at the end of the movie, take 2 doses. Okay, so now that you know the rules, I'll tell you what I'm dosing with for tonight's game. I've chosen a little indie craft IPA for this one, not because I'm a beer snob, but because it's called Everyday Zombies. I mean, come on. I know it's not always smart to judge a beer by its packaging, but this one is actually pretty tasty, and it makes a great pairing with spicy food. I also like to support local businesses, so I'm doing my part for Paperback Brewing Company in Glendale, which is not too far from my studio. It's showtime, so settle in for the perfect horror party movie, and be sure to come back here for a health check and my final thoughts. But in the meantime, it's lights down, bottoms up, roll film.
Let's all go to the... What, is everybody here on drugs or something?
I hope you had as good a time as I did, because I really love this little chunk of cheese.
I've never heard so many disgusting stories in all my life.
Yeah, it objectifies women, and that's not cool. But I do try to consider this film a product of its time. And the 80s wasn't exactly an age of enlightenment. Before you go, be sure to hit that little bell and subscribe so we can keep you up to date on all the cool horror content we've got coming up.
Good evening. Allow me to introduce myself.
Yeah, Count Dingleberry, the flaming asshole of Transylvania.
And if you dig this particular show, share the warmth and toss us a like. And of course, we're always reading your comments to help us decide on our next party pick.
How about an orgy?
In the meantime, cheers, drive safely, and come back soon.
Happy Halloween, dear.